Am I the a-hole for turning my sister away for the second time after she slept with the father of my children while I was with him and then came to me when he cheated and passed on STDs to her? I, 27 female, have 3 children with my now ex-Ken, 29 male. 10 months ago, my sister, 26 female, confessed that she and Ken had slept together the week before. She said she regretted it and needed us to be okay. She told me it was a mistake, that she got caught up in a moment because she had a crush on Ken and she needed me not to hate her for it, that she loved me and wanted us to make things work. Ken didn't even try to deny it. He told me he'd been sleeping around for years and that he had slept with my sister more than once. My sister strongly denied that. I broke up with him immediately and told her to get lost. I said I never wanted to see her again, that she disgusted and repulsed me, and I didn't care how bad she felt. I wanted her to feel bad. I wanted her to hurt, and she would never hurt as much as I was hurting then, so forget about me. I got tested after I broke up with Ken to make sure he didn't give me anything with all the cheating. I was negative for all STDs, and I'm incredibly thankful for that. With the amount of cheating he talked about, I'm still surprised I didn't catch anything. She ended up dating Ken because I rejected her, or at least that was the story she told others. She said she felt guilty and needed some good to come from this because clearly I would never give her the time of day again. And that's true. I swore to myself that I would not forgive her. Even through therapy, I have become more secure in the belief that what she did broke our relationship beyond repair. And regardless of whether it was one time, which I don't believe, or a full affair, it was wrong and will never come back from it. I really don't care what happens to her, and if she died tomorrow, I would not grieve or make an appearance at her funeral. Recently, my sister found out Ken had cheated on her, and not only did he cheat, but he also passed along some STDs. I don't know the specifics. I believe she's also waiting to make sure he didn't give her HIV. Although I can't say I paid enough attention to know if that was a big concern or just them being cautious. But she thought that experience would make me more forgiving of her. She was wrong. She showed up at my place, and I shut the door in her face without saying a word. She showed up at our brother's house while I was heading inside, and he shooed her off. But she told me how sorry she was again, how scared she was, and how much she needed me. I ignored her and kept going, and our brother told her she wasn't welcome. She tried again, and this time I did respond. I told her I do not care, and if anything, she deserves everything she got after what she did and how stupid she was in the end. She told me she needed me and that she was scared. I told her, just like when I found out my partner of 8 years and father of my children was cheating, and I could have used my sister, only she betrayed me as well by cheating with him. She said it was one time and that she would have been there for me, and I told her I didn't want her disgusting self to touch me. Because that's how I see her now, a disgusting backstabber. I told her I don't care if he's given her every STD under the sun, because I want nothing more to do with her, and she can die in a hole for all I care. I haven't seen her since. Apparently, she's very distraught, and is also the topic of gossip in our social circles. She lost most of our shared friends, and a few have shared a similar sentiment to mine about her. But a couple have asked me if I don't even feel a little bad for being so cruel to her and turning her away a second time, even after all her apologies. They said they felt like I should have found a way to work through this, because we were close for such a long time, and sisters are for life, or whatever stupid crap they said. I don't feel guilty. I don't even feel bad for her or have any kind of empathy. Am I the a-hole though? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She was likely banging him for ages. She didn't care enough about you nor your kids not to be one of the many women he cheated with. Karma's a bitch. That's what I think. She still swears it was once, but even once is one time too many. Exactly. One time or 1,000 makes no difference. She's worse than him. He's a POS, but she's supposed to be your sister who you had a close relationship with. Neither I nor my sisters have ever been so caught up that we slept with our sibling's partner, whether he was a dog or not. This is exactly it. I can't imagine crying about loving someone so much while betraying them in that kind of way. Not the a-hole. Forgiveness isn't owed, especially when the betrayal was that deep. Absolutely. Some wounds cut so deep that forgiveness isn't a given. It has to be earned, if it's even possible at all. Protecting your peace doesn't require you to excuse what broke you. That's wild. She slept with your husband and then told you the two of you needed to be okay? Lol. WTF. Not the a-hole. She did. She kept saying she needed us to be okay. She needed me not to hate her, making it all about herself while she was tearing my whole world apart. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my dad meet my newborn daughter even though he's changed? I, 29 female, just had my first child, a baby girl 2 weeks ago. It's been emotional, exhausting, beautiful, all of it. But one decision I made is already causing family drama. I told my dad, 55 male, he won't be meeting her, ever. Here's why. My dad was horrific growing up. He was a textbook narcissist, angry, manipulative, terrifying when things didn't go his way. He never hit me, but he hit walls, smashed plates, and broke doors in front of me and my mom constantly. He'd scream at us like we were enemies, not family. One time when I was 12, he made me stand outside in the rain for an hour because I got a B on a math test. When I cried, he told me to stop being dramatic and start being better. I went no contact when I was 20. It was the best decision I ever made. I've spent nearly a decade in therapy, building boundaries and healing. 2 years ago, he got sober after a health scare. Since then, he's reached out several times, birthday cards, voicemails, even showed up at my old apartment once, always with the same message, I've changed, but never a real apology, just guilt-tripping wrapped in fake warmth. When I announced the birth of my daughter, just a simple Facebook post, he commented, "Can't wait to meet my granddaughter." I ignored it. Then my aunt called and said he was crushed I hadn't reached out. She said, "He's trying. You can't punish someone forever." But here's the thing. I'm not punishing him. I'm protecting my daughter. If I let him in, even a little, what happens when he flips again? Or when he tries to parent me through her? I won't make my child carry the trauma I've spent years trying to unload. Now my aunt and cousins are calling me heartless. One cousin even told me, "If you're so healed, why are you still holding a grudge?" Am I the a-hole? No, not the a-hole. I have fiercely protected my children from my own childhood trauma. It just makes you a better parent than he was. Ignore all the sniping. I would be blocking the a-hole ASAP from all social media and not sharing any photos online that your aunts and cousins can see. Tell him he did 20 years worth of damage to you that still lingers. He can wait 20 years until your child is grown up and can decide for herself, as an adult, who can choose to walk away if he shows any sort of mental instability, anger, bad behavior, etc. He messed up his chance. Now he gets to face the consequences. Sounds like the attempts of a narc who's afraid of what people will say when there is clearly no relationship. You owe him nothing. She's your future. Give her the future he never gave you. If you're so healed, why are you still holding a grudge? OP should respond, "I have managed to heal as much as I have because I have cut that man out of my life. I do not trust him, and I will never trust him enough to risk giving him the chance to hurt me again. I am responsible for the well-being of my baby, and I will never risk exposing her to being traumatized by the man who made my childhood a nightmarish hell." I'm glad that he got sober, and I wish him well in his life, but I don't owe him any chances. There very simply is no bridge back to me for him ever. Next story. Am I the a-hole because I wouldn't put my stepdad on my child's emergency contacts? So, my mother and father broke up when I was around 12. She then got a partner who had zero interest in me. According to my family, my stepdad said he would adopt me, and my mom rightly said no, as he'd only been in my life for a year at most, and we didn't get along during that year. He didn't take it well. My aunties say they think he took it out on me. This aggression got worse as I grew up. He'd do things like lock me out of the house when they didn't let me have a key, so if they forgot to leave one, I'd have no other option but to try and see if any friends could let me stay at theirs. There were many awful things in between. It'd take ages to list. Probably wasn't the easiest child to deal with, admittedly. Skip forward to the present day. I have a baby of my own and have had recent problems regarding my son and my parents. The first was a family wedding we were all invited to. My son is only just 2, and we are a big family who likes to drink. 7 o'clock was the latest I wanted to be there. Then, the day before, my mom told me she'd booked me a hotel room and that if I got a lift down with her, they were getting a taxi to the hotel around midnight. I said she shouldn't have done that without asking me and that I'd already arranged a lift back. Her partner then got on the phone, called me selfish and childish, and said not everything is always about me. I ended up just not going to the wedding. The second time, my mom was looking after my child while I went to night school. She was going to have him until the morning and bring him home. When I got back, I called to check how he'd gone down. He doesn't stay there too often, and they have problems getting him to sleep. They didn't answer the first 2 calls, and then my mom messaged me. It had a load of typos, which isn't normal for her. I rang again, and she was drunk, slurring, and my 2-year-old was still awake in the background. When I asked if she'd been drinking, she started saying I was being stupid and that she couldn't believe me. I walked to their house to get my child, and she called me an unfit mother and threw his clothes at me. Her partner came out and asked me why I overreact so much. I just walked off. Since then, my mom and I are once again trying to repair things. Because I don't drive, I asked her to drop off a form for my baby's nursery that he's due to start. She didn't drop it off and instead took it home and read through it. When she saw that her partner wasn't listed on the emergency contacts, she asked me why and accused me of pushing him out. She then said that if he wasn't on the emergency contacts, she didn't want to be either. I told her I don't trust him after everything that's happened. He's never, not once in my life, ever been there for me in an emergency. He's only ever been a person who's made me feel worthless. I wouldn't call him in an emergency for myself or my child. Why would I put him down? He also doesn't drive, so he wouldn't be of much use. She then said that if that's how I felt, she would cut contact with me. Am I the a-hole? Stop. Take a breath. You do not leave a child with child abusers or people who countenance child abuse. You do not leave a child with people who drink to excess when they're in charge of the child. You do not leave a child with people who call the parent ugly names and emotionally abuse her, and might very well turn around and do the exact same thing to the child. And you do not have an emergency contact who does any of these things. I'm not just talking about your stepfather. I'm talking about your mother. Why you didn't cut or severely restrict contact with her after the wedding incident suggests that you absorbed so much punishment and emotional abuse growing up that this seems normal to you. It isn't normal. Your stepfather isn't the only person who's made you feel worthless. Your mother, who has supported him and tolerated what he said and done to you, is equally responsible. Please get yourself to a therapist and do not allow your child to be alone with either one of them. Ever, forever. Not now, not in the future. I'm sorry you've suffered so much. Please start getting yourself disentangled from this ugly, destructive family dynamic. And you would be an a-hole if either of these people who treats you so badly were the emergency contact. Absolutely. Agree 100%. She should not expose her child to these people one more time. I hope she takes your advice. Maybe her school can help or point her in the right direction. Last story. Am I the a-hole for abandoning my girlfriend and newborn son by going through SEAL training? I'm male 23, just got through BUDS to become a SEAL. It was the toughest stretch of my life, physically and mentally, but I pushed through because I believed in what I was doing, for myself and for my future family. My girlfriend, 21, and I had been together for 3 years when she got pregnant. It wasn't planned, but we decided to keep the baby. At the time, I was already locked into the pipeline. I told her from the start that I wouldn't be able to be around for most of the pregnancy or even the birth. She said she understood. Maybe she thought it wouldn't be that hard, or maybe she just wanted to believe it'd be okay. Either way, I went in. I missed the birth. I wasn't there for any of it. The hospital, the first night, nothing. I found out a couple days later during one of the few times I got access to my phone. It hit me hard, but I had to compartmentalize and keep moving. Now that I'm past training and waiting for orders, I've had more time to talk to her, and things aren't good. She's dealing with postpartum depression, overwhelmed, barely sleeping. Every time we talk, she ends up crying. She says she feels like I abandoned her and our son. She tells me she's alone, that I left her to do everything by herself while I went off to chase a dream. I don't blow her off. I stay on the phone as long as I can. I talk her through whatever she needs. I've been sending money and trying to help however I can from a distance, but it never feels like enough. She says I should have stayed, that real men don't leave their families behind. Her dad even told me to my face that I'm selfish, that I wanted a cool title more than being a father. I didn't walk away because I didn't care. I went through hell over the last year to set us up long term. I'm earning steady pay, full health care, housing, benefits, everything I never had growing up. I didn't want to be a part-time dad with nothing to offer. I wanted to be someone my son can look up to, someone who made the hard choices for the right reasons. Do I feel guilty for not being there? Yeah, I think about it every day. But do I regret going through with it? No, I did what I believed was necessary. Even if it's not appreciated right now. Am I the a-hole? No a-hole here. She's essentially going through being a single mother with PPD. She really needs a good support system, and her feelings are valid. You are just trying to make sure your child has a better life than you did. Also, you can't just walk out of the military like an office job. That's the problem with a lot of people who are getting into military relationships. They don't understand we are in a contract, so it's not easy. Even leaving, you want to make sure it's on a good note, but I think his girlfriend needs a doula or set up a good support system when he has his job. But I do know she has to understand this is sadly the norm. I missed some stuff while I was in BCT and AIT. You didn't abandon. This was already locked in before anything to get ready for the future. Yes, she feels abandoned, but I feel like this is something you need to sit down with her and a therapist and talk about it to air it out. Her resentment is real, since she had to do this by herself. Her feelings are valid. She has postpartum depression. Again, her feelings are valid. Remember, this isn't what she was expecting her first pregnancy to be like. Since you're waiting for your next call, do everything you can to make it up to her with the baby. Give her time to herself. Bond with your child. Send her to a spa day. Make her feel loved. Hopefully you all can recover from this, but she did agree to let you go and needed the insurance for the baby as well as your future. And your father-in-law needs to mind his business too. Not the a-hole. His daughter and grandchild is his business. His daughter's hurting and needs help. Being a first-time single parent is incredibly difficult. Is getting mad at OP going to solve that? Obviously not, but he's able to let him know what his 21-year-old daughter is going through. I don't know why OP isn't making sure she has a good support system.